Evet. Merhaba arkadaşlar. Merhaba. Nasılsınız? İyi misiniz? So after taking a 1 week of break, we are continuing our live YouTube stream again. So I was planning to do this live stream last Wednesday, but I had to attend some business and I'm also really busy working with the version 4 of the website Turkisholic, so I couldn't spare much time for the live lessons. But hopefully, in today's lesson, we will do something fun again. So I have actually prepared a nice Turkish story for you today. So this one will be a bit more easier than the last one. I think the last Turkish story was a bit difficult. This could also, be used. The story for today's lesson could be good for maybe pre-intermediate, maybe beginner, something in between. But don't worry, even if you don't understand any of the things that we talk about in the lesson, I'm going to explain sentence by sentence and grammar by grammar and any vocabulary if you need to. Then we will be also doing some example sentences which you will create, by looking at the story. So you'll be able to create your own sentences. So it's going to be a lot of nice practice. You're going to see Turkish in real sentences. So today we have a small group of students attending this lesson. Hopefully the number will increase. So today's lesson won't be too long. I am not planning on making it 1 hour and more than 1 hour because I noticed that most of you like a maximum of 30-40 minute lessons. So I'm gonna make it around that time. I'm not gonna waste too much time on it. Okay. So first of all, herkese hoş geldiniz. Hoş geldiniz derse hoş geldiniz. So welcome to the lesson. So I think we have around enough people. I'm not gonna wait anymore. So let's start today's lesson if you're all ready. Okay, I'm gonna share the screen. So this time I made it better. I'm not gonna change screens all the time. I'm posted it on my Google Docs. Okay, so can you see it? I'm on the left screen, left side. So it should be easier to see, I hope. So this is today's story. So it's from the same book, same textbook that I did the last story. So these stories that I find are actually from a Turkish book that's used in public schools in Turkey. So this is a story from a Turkish textbook that people use in 2nd grade, in 3rd grade in Turkey. So the grammar could be a bit difficult for you, and that's why I'm going to explain a lot of the grammar, a lot of the vocabulary. Okay, so welcome to my new students who are attending the lesson. If you're here, please say a hello in the chat box. If you have any questions, if you want to give example sentences, if you want to say anything, please write it in the chat box. Okay, so I want this lesson to be interactive, so I'm not gonna just talk all the time. I want to see your answers to questions I ask. I want to see example sentences. Hoş geldin Fabiola, nasılsın? İyi misin? So this is going to be I hope this is going to be an interactive lesson. Okay, so first of all, let's start with this sentence again. The first on the top, the green box. I think we had something similar again on our last lesson. There was a green box asking a question. So let me read the question. The question says, hangi oyunları oynamayı daha çok seviyorsun? Again, hangi oyunları oynamayı daha çok seviyorsun? So let's translate this. Which games do you like to play more. So in this sentence, you can see daha çok, the comparative structure, more. We saw a lot of this in our earlier lessons, and I also have a lesson on it on the YouTube channel. Oynamak is to play, right? So oyun oynamak. So when we say to play a game, we usually use oynamak with an object. Merhaba Dave, nasılsın, iyi misin? For as a PDF, I think I'm gonna share the Google Docs link on the chat. So once this lesson is finished, once the live stream is over, you can also access this, the whole story, everything that I took, every note that I took so far. You can access it as a Google link, Google Documents file. Okay, so you can, if you want to read it again, you can visit this Google Doc link and you can see this whole comic strip at that Google Doc. I hope it's okay with you. I don't have it as a PDF file, unfortunately. It's just an image file. I just copy pasted it here. But I think that could be, this will be enough for you. Okay. So first of all, let's read the title. So Kara Kulak ile Tomurcuk. Actually, we forgot to answer the first question. So hangi oyunları oynamayı daha çok seviyorsun? So the question here was, which games do you like to play more? So could you try to answer this question, if you like in English, if you can in Turkish? So which games do you like to play more? Or which games do you like to play? For example, let me write an example. Let's say satranç oynamayı seviyorum. This can be my example sentence. So can you give me an example sentence following the structure? So if you know how to use the me'yi, mayı sevmek, like doing dot dot dot, like doing dot dot dot. So oynamayı seviyorum. Yapmayı seviyorum. İzlemeyi seviyorum. So you can talk about games if you like, games that you like to play, or maybe TV series you like to watch, or anything that you like to do. Can you make some example sentence similar to this one? For example, I said satranç oynamayı seviyorum. So satranç means chess in Turkish. So can you make a similar sentence like this? I'm going to give you a few seconds. Let's see if anyone can write an example sentence. Okay, another question. Okay, first of all, Coco. Yemek pişirmeyi seviyorum. Okay, you can also like to cook. Yemek pişirmeyi seviyorum. Güzel, güzel cümle. I'm gonna answer your question in a second, Fabiola. Masa oyunları oynamayı seviyorum. By the way, hoş geldin Taşkın. I think it's Taşkin. Taşkın. We also have a similar verb now name in Turkish. We have a lot of Taşkın in Turkish. Masa oyunları. So I like playing board games. Maybe not board games, like table tennis, I'm guessing, right? Masa oyunu, masa tenisi. So for your question, you said, so oynamak. So for this structure, it's oyna is the verb, right? Oyna is the verb. Mak is the infinitive suffix we use as in to play, to do. But when we use it with sevmek, we can't just say oynamak seviyorum. We have to make it into the short infinitive. So mekmak is the normal full infinitive. The short infinitive is mema. So oynama. Then the y here is the accusative suffix. Oynamayı, yemeyi. I like doing this. I like doing that. Oynamayı seviyorum. So we cannot make it with the full infinitive. We have to make it with the short infinitive attached at the end of oyna, the stem verb. Then we add the accusative suffix with the buffer letter. The accusative suffix is the I suffix, right? But there's a buffer letter, y. Then we attach it. Then seviyorum. Accusative, right? Meyi, mayı. We cannot say meki, makı. It doesn't make sense. It's grammatically incorrect. Okay? I hope this answered your question. Another example sentences. Ne yapmayı seviyorsun? What do you like to do? Ne yapmayı? You can also say such a sentence, right? Let me write that question. So this is my question for you. Ne yapmayı seviyorsun? What do you like to do? Let me give you a few more seconds so I can see maybe a few more examples. By the way, I hope my connection is okay. Sometimes there's an error here. I hope my connection doesn't break. If my connection breaks for some reason, I don't know. I'm really sorry. I just got an error on my hosting section, but it doesn't seem to be breaking. Okay. So any other sentences? Anything else? If not, we're gonna continue with our comic strip. So when we are reading this comic strip, I'm only going to read it slowly. I'm not going to translate it at first because I want you to hear my pronunciation. Then once we're finished, then we're gonna slowly translate, okay? So first of all, let's look at the title again. Kara kulak ile tomurcuk. So kara kulak and tomurcuk are actually proper names. So names of things or people. But here, I think it's not a name for a human being, but a name for an animal, right? So kara means black. We also have siyah as black. So kulak is ear. So kara kulak is black ear. I think maybe this character that you can see hopefully here is kara kulak. Tomurcuk, it's really hard to describe what tomurcuk means because I don't know if there's a meaning for tomurcuk, but tomurcuk is like a sprout, bud, maybe bergen. I don't know. Let's just say sprout. So if we want to translate what tomurcuk means, it's a proper name. It means sprout. So kara kulak and tomurcuk. So this is the story of this person and this person. Okay. So I'm not gonna stop. Oops, one second. Let me close that question. So I'm not gonna stop when I'm reading. So I'm gonna read it slowly. Hopefully you will be able to understand what this is about. I'm not gonna ask you a question saying what this is about. I just want you to listen, okay? So it's gonna be a bit of reading, listening lesson at the start. Then we're gonna do a lot of translation. Okay, let's read our story. So please follow the arrow. This is how the order goes. I don't know why they made it like this, but it's this order. Okay, let's start. Hazır ol tomurcuk. Roket kadar hızlı bir top geliyor. Pıt. Kick sound. Gerçekten roket gibi attın. Baksana, kaleye bile uğramadan uçtu. Here. Burada tek başına ne yapıyorsun Kirpi kardeş? Bize katılsana. Here. Ben de oynayabilir miyim ki? Oynarsın tabii ki. Hadi kaleye geç. Yaşasın. Topu tuttum. So he caught the ball and poof, it inflated. Yeah, it inflated in English. Inflated. Okay, so next one. Oynayamam demiştim size. Üzülme kirpi kardeş. Zaten biz de bu oyundan sıkılmıştık. Haydi kovalamaca oynayalım. So here, this is our hedgehog friend. Kirpi is hedgehog. He is sad. Kirpi kardeşinde oynayabileceği bir oyun bulmamız lazım. Here, buldum. Elimin üstünde kimin eli var? Oynayalım. Yo, olmaz. Patilerimi seviyorum. Here. Arkadaşlar, siz oynayın. Ben oynamasam da olur. Hayır, kirpi kardeş. Herkesin başarabileceği bir şey vardır. There's too many raw syllables. Herkesin başarabileceği bir şey vardır. Benim aklıma bir oyun geldi. It should be exclamation mark. Bunu yapacağız. Bunu ne yapacağız? Bunu ne yapacağız? Tabii ki de körebe oynayacağız. Oynayacağız. Here. Eyvah! Amanın benim güzel patilerim. Çok özür dilerim. Önemli değil kirpi kardeş. Galiba ben hiç oyun oynayamayacağım. So we're continuing. Hemen de üzülmeyin. Beni takip edin. Nereye gidiyoruz? Bilmiyorum ama karakulak gözlüğünü taktıysa aklında güzel bir fikir vardır. Güzel fikri suyla oynamak mıymış? Bir şey mi oldu? Fısır fısır fısır fısır fısır is whispering sound in Turkish. Fısır fısır fısır fısır. Şıp şıp şıp is when you touch the water and it makes a sound, splash sound, right? Şıp şıp şıp is a splash sound in Turkish. Haydi bakalım. En çok balonu patlatan oyunu kazanır. Yaşasın. Sonunda benim de oynayabileceğim bir oyun var. Hem de dikenlerin sayesinde bu oyunun kazananı sen olacaksın galiba. Tomurcuk, karakulak, çok teşekkür ederim. İyi ki sizin gibi arkadaşlarım var. Yaşasın. And we finished the story. So we're gonna go back up. It's not that long. It's relatively short. Okay. So can you guess what the story was about? I mean, if you know Turkish, then yeah, it's okay for you to quickly guess it. But even if you don't understand it, maybe you can understand the context from the images. Can you try to tell me what the story was about? What were the characters, the animals talking about? Why is the one character sad? Why are the others trying to help him? Can you tell me? If you can tell me in Turkish, maybe write something simple. It's good. If you can't in English, it's also fine. So, what is the story about? Can you guess? Can you guess the theme of the story? So let's ask the question. So while you think of the answer, I'm gonna drink my water. So we have a lot of going on in this short comic strip. So can you tell me what this story could be about? Let's try to talk about it a little. After that, we're gonna slowly translate this comic strip sentence by sentence and investigate the interesting grammar that you may see. Some of the grammar is beginner, some of the grammar is advanced, but it's okay. I'm going to explain them anyway. Okay, so Dave. Okay, yeah. Basically, they're trying to play a game, right? The porcupine or the hedgehog, I don't know. Yeah, Kirpi is porcupine too, right? Hedgehog is a bit different. It's the same thing. Yeah, sorry about that. It's the same. So they're trying to play a game, but the porcupine is, I think, unable to play the game with them for some reason, right? Maybe because of his needles. That could be one reason, right? Anyone else? So what do you think, even if we know the story, we can guess the story, what do you think is the theme of the story? So it's okay. So what do you think is the theme of the story? So the story is made for second graders, I think, maybe third graders. This is trying to teach something, I'm guessing, right? The story is trying to teach something to the students. So maybe something like there's always a solution to a problem, or don't ever give up, or try to understand the difficulty someone might be having because they're not the same as you, or something like that, right? Okay, so if there's any answer, let's see it. If there's not, let's move on to examining this sentence. So we just guessed that they're trying to play with each other, okay? Okay, let's look at the sentences. So, okay, answer from Taşkın. Evet, iki arkadaşın diğer arkadaşına oynayabileceği bir oyun bulmasına yardım etmesidir. So Taşkın, I'm guessing your Turkish is better than most of our viewers. So Taşkın here is saying that two friends are helping another friend play a game that they can play together, right? So they're trying to find a solution to a problem. Thank you. Teşekkür ederim Taşkın. So let's examine the sentences then. So hazır ol tomurcuk. So hazır olmak. Hazır olmak means to be ready. Hazır ol tomurcuk. So here, this is the imperative structure. So as you can see, there is no any other suffix added, like a tense suffix or a mekmak. For example, ye, izle, hazır ol. So hazır ol is not two different verbs. Hazır olmak is used as a construct that's used together. So olmak, it means to be, but hazır olmak is to be ready. So be ready tomurcuk. So here there's an interesting structure. Yeah, Taşkın is a Turkish name, by the way. Maybe that's similar. Yeah, I did mention that in the start of the lesson. So, roket kadar hızlı bir top geliyor. Rocket is the same as a cognate, right? Roket kadar hızlı. So fast as a rocket. So for example, let me make something original. Let's say, let me write cennet kadar güzel. So rocket kadar hızlı means fast as a rocket. Cennet kadar güzel. Cennet means heaven in Turkish. So cennet kadar güzel. Can you guess what this could mean? Cennet kadar güzel. Güzel is pretty. Cennet means heaven. So what was the meaning of kadar? Rocket kadar hızlı, as fast as a rocket. So can you try to guess what this could mean? Cennet kadar güzel. Anyone? So today my connection, maybe because of the website or something else, it's a bit problematic, but hopefully I won't disconnect. So can you make something similar, or first can you guess what this means? Cennet kadar güzel. Anyone? Can you tell me what this could mean? Cennet kadar güzel. So kadar means, yeah, Dave, güzel. As pretty as heaven. So as beautiful as heaven, as pretty as heaven, right? So cennet kadar güzel. Can you make something similar to the structure? Can you make dot dot kadar dot dot? Can you make a similar sentence or something original? Let me see your example sentences. Let's see if you can make something nice. I'm going to stop at interesting sentences if there's something interesting. So if you're watching this lesson, not as a live lesson, maybe after the live lesson, you can also input your example sentences. I will check your sentences and see if there's correct or if they're not. I want to see your examples, okay? So if there's no answer, anyone? Maybe one more before we move on. Cennet kadar güzel. Nope, nothing? Okay, so if there's no other example sentence, I'll be sure to move on. But if you have anything on your mind, you can always write in the chat box. From time to time, I'm looking at the chat box. So I'll stop and talk about your example sentence. Okay. Hazır ol tomurcuk. Be ready tomurcuk. Roket kadar hızlı bir top geliyor. A ball, top is ball. A ball is coming as fast as a rocket. A ball as fast as a rocket is coming. Geliyor, gelmek means to come. Put is like a onomatopoeia, sound. Put. So let's continue. Gerçekten roket gibi attın. Okay, another example from Dave. Gül kadar saf. Gül is rose in Turkish. Saf is pure. Pure as a rose. Çok güzel, çok güzel Dave. Teşekkür ederim. So let's continue. Roket gibi attın. Gerçekten. Really? Roket gibi attın. You threw it like a rocket. Roket gibi attın. So let's make another sentence. By the way, if you can make something with gibi dot dot dot, you can also write it in the chat box if you're watching this as a live lesson. If you're watching this as a stream, recorded stream, write in the messages. So I'm gonna check it, okay? I want you to make something similar to dot dot dot gibi dot dot dot. So roket gibi attın. Taş gibi sert. So let's write that actually. I want to write that. Taş gibi sert bir ekmek. So taş is rock. Sert is hard. So ekmek is bread. A bread that is as hard as a rock. So it's similar to the roket kadar hızlı, roket gibi hızlı. They have a really similar meaning, but kadar can also have different meanings. For example, as much as, similar to, or as far as, depending on the context. Gibi simply means like. So roket kadar hızlı or roket gibi hızlı, both structures are okay. So if you can make more sentences, be sure to write them in the chat box and the comments, okay? Gül kadar saf. Okay. Gerçekten roket gibi attın. For real, you threw it like a rocket. Baksana, look at it. Yapsana. So the sana sene. Yapsana. Baksana. Why don't you look at it? Why don't you dut? So this is a structure used. So the name of the structure is the optatives. So this is optative. Bugün yemek yapsana. Why don't you cook a meal today? Okula gitsene. Why don't you go to school? This is not a question though. This is basically asking someone to do this already. So they're not asking it as a question. It's basically a polite imperative. So it's a polite order. Yapsana. The yapsana is the third person. The first person is, for example, yapayım. Let me do it. Gideyim. Okuyayım. Let me do it. Let me read it. So I explained this grammar structure, the optatives, in one of my lessons. I think you can also find it in the Speaking Turkish in 30 Days lesson. But I explain it in even more detail if you check out my intermediate Turkish lesson, the premium lesson on the Turkish Aholic website. So if you become a premium member, I explain most of the grammar that we see here in my premium courses. Look at it, baksana. Kaleye bile uğramadan uçtu. So kale is the goalie, not the goalie. How would we say that in English? So kale means the goal. You know, as in the football, there's a goal that you have to shoot. Kale bile, even the goal. So it flew, uçmak. So how did it flew? The adverb is uğramadan. Uğramak means to reach, to get to a place. Uğramak, to reach, to get to a place. So it flew without reaching the goal. So kaleye bile uğramadan uçtu. So let's make this structure actually another interesting structure. Ahmet yemek yemeden okula gitti. Ahmet yemek yemeden okula gitti. So Ahmet did something without doing something. So madan is used as without ... So I did something without doing something. So Ahmet went to school without eating any meal, any breakfast, any food. So we can make different kinds of example sentences. So can you make me an example sentence without meden, madan, and I did something without meden, madan? Can you make me an example sentence? If you're watching this live right now, look, I want to see some example sentences in the chat box. If you're watching it as a recorded lesson, be sure to write it in the comments, okay? Let's see, can anyone make an example sentence? Anyone? I think someone can make it. It's not a difficult structure. It's actually around maybe A1, A2 level. Yeah, I think A2 level. I did something without doing something. So let me say another one. Bugün, let's say, what did I do today? Bugün televizyon izlemeden yemek yedim. So televizyon izlemek means to watch TV. So I ate dinner without watching TV. So nowadays most children have to watch something when they're eating their meals. So I think this would go to any of my students, children, or any of people that you know that cannot eat anything without watching television. So Televizyon izlemeden yemek yedim. Okay, if you have anything on your mind, be sure to share it with me in the chat or in the comment section if you're watching it. Not as a live lesson, but a recorded lesson. Okay, let's continue. Okay. I saw one sentence from Coco. So, sürmek mean, so Ella. What do you mean by Ella? I couldn't understand what you meant by Ella. Did you mean without looking, without touching? You did something bakmadan. So you did it without looking at it. You did it without. What did you do? I couldn't understand the first part. The elle, sürmek. El, I'm guessing, is hand, sürmek. Okay, she drove without looking. I'm gonna get to you, Taşkın, 1 second. Yola bakmadan araba. Okay. Let me write the correct version of your sentence. So yola bakmak, to look at the road. Araba sürmek. We cannot just say sürmek. Sürmek by itself can be used in different meanings in Turkish. Sürmek can also mean to paste something like a how would I say, on a bread, like a jelly, sürmek, reçel sürmek. So if you use it without any object, it could mean anything. So you have to say araba sürmek if you want to say to drive. So yol is road. So without looking at the road, Ella drove her car. Yola bakmadan araba sürdü. Okay, and Taşkın, fiyata bakmadan alışveriş yaptım. Evet, so I purchased something or I did shopping without looking at the price. Fiyata bakmadan. Fiyat is price, right? Without looking, I bought something. I did shopping. And iyi akşamlar. Hoş geldin Kokana. So let's another one, I think. Okay. Dave. Dave yemek yemeden bu derse you came. You didn't go. So geldin. Yemek yemeden bu derse geldi. Okay, then it's correct. So instead of saying gitmek, gelmek, because I mean, sometimes in certain languages you say go. For example, in Japanese, I always mixed it up because Japanese say I'm going when they're saying I'm coming. But in Turkish, we say gel. We came here. I came here. So we don't say go. So gelmek, come. Gitmek, go. Okay. Anyone else? Let me check if there are any sentences I don't look at. I think, yeah, that's about it. Let's continue. Let me close this one. Uğramadan. Okay. Burada tek başına ne yapıyorsun? Kirpikarlı. Tek başına, by yourself. So this is not that interesting. Tek başına ne yapıyorsun? What are you doing here? Brother, porcupine. Kardeşiz. Brother, sister. I think this is a male, so I'm just gonna say brother. Maybe that it's a female. I don't know. So what are you doing here by yourself? Brother porcupine. Bize katılsana. Again, we have the optative. Baksana, katılsana. Why don't you ... Why don't you ... Why don't you look? Why don't you join? Katılmak means to join. Why don't you join us? So you can make a lot of example sentences with the optative. Ahmet, bugün yemek yapsana. Ahmet, why don't you cook today? Why don't you make a meal today? So sana, sene. So this is a twofold vowel harmony. So actually, let's make some examples. So even if it's gonna take some time, let's just make it since this is a grammar lesson too. Ahmet, let me write my example. So Ahmet, bugün yemek yapsana. Or let's say Dave, bugün Türkçe çalışsana. So Dave, why don't you study Turkish today? So can you make some example sentences with the sana, sene? It's basically, why don't you do this today? So it's like offering somebody to do something, but it's actually a polite imperative, polite order. Why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? There's some kind of an option here, but depending on the person that's asking, it may not be even an option, but maybe they're given an order in a polite way. So you can use it with the stem verb, and according to vowel harmony, choose sana, sene. Why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? We use it a lot in Turkish. For example, anne bana su getirsene. So sometimes the children ask their mother, anne bana su getirsene. Getirmek means bring. Su is as in water. Mother, why don't you bring me some water? Or it's actually a polite way of asking, can you bring me some water? And there's also baksana. Can you look at? Or for example, you're at the restaurant. Baksana. But at the restaurant, it could mean a bit impolite version. And if you want to say, could you look at me, please? Like, could you? I'm gonna give you an order. Can you take a look at me? That it would mean bakar mısın? Bakar mısınız? Baksana can be used more between your friends. Yapsana. Bugün Ahmet'le konuşsana. Why don't you talk with Ahmet today? So it's not asking for a request, but it's basically giving an opinion or saying, why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? So don't use it for the waiters, the waitresses at a restaurant. It can sound, baksana, raw, pretty rude. Okay, be careful. Okay, let's continue. Bize katılsana. Why don't you join us? Ben de oynayabilir miyim ki? So the key is like, can I really? So the key suffix has a lot of usages in Turkish. It can be used as a locative, it can be used with the genitive, but the key is like, can I really? It's like an exclamation. So can I also play? Ben de oynayabilir miyim? Oynarsın tabii. Oynarsın tabii ki. Of course you can play it. Hadi, come on. Kaleye geç. Get in front of the goal. Okay? So here we have, let's examine the grammar. Can I? So play it. We have the potential mood. Ebil, abul, ebil. Yapabilir miyim? Oynayabilir miyim? Can I do this? Can I do that? Oynarsın, yaparsın, gidersin. So here we have oynarım, oynarsın, the aorist tense. For example, her gün televizyon izlerim. So every day I watch TV. But the aorist tense is not just used for general habits. Oynarsın. It can also mean sometimes you can play. You can do this. Oynarsın, yaparsın. It's like rooting for someone. Yeah, you can do it. Of course. Tabii ki. Of course. Hadi, come on. Get in front of the goal. Geçmek is to get, to pass, to move. Okay, let's move on. Yaşasın. Yaşasın. Yeah, so yaşamak means to live, but yaşasın is an exclamation saying, yay, hooray. We use it a lot in Turkish when something that makes us happy. One of the words that we use to say hooray. Yaşasın. So top was ball, tutmak was to hold, right? Topu tuttum. I caught the ball. Yay, I caught the ball. Then what happens? Oh my God. And now they're all sad. Oynayamam demiştim size. Okay, this structure, I like it. So demiştim. So here we have a combination of direct speech plus the evidential past. So evidential past is used as, for example, I had supposedly somebody did something. Supposedly I said it. But here this is a bit more of intermediate level Turkish grammar. So let's start from the beginning. Oynayamam. I cannot play it. So this is the negative version of oynayabilirim. This is negation. I cannot play it. Demiştim. I told you so. Demiştim size. I told you. So when something unexpected happens, but you actually mentioned that way earlier in discussion, you can use this combination. Yapmıştım. For example, dün yemek yapmıştım. Let's write that sentence. Oops, not that one. Dün yemek yapmıştım. So what is the difference between dün yemek yapmıştım and dün yemek yaptım? So they sound similar. I mean, in a way, they are similar. Dün yemek yapmıştım means yesterday I made a meal, I made a food, I prepared a food. You can also say dün yemek yaptım, but the mood in which you say it changes. So the mış suffix, the evidential suffix, can be used as a story suffix. So when a Turkish person makes a lot of example sentences, when he or she talks a lot with the mış suffix, for example, dün Ahmet'i okulda gördüm. Televizyon, dün Ahmet'i okulda görmüştüm. Or görmüş. So I supposedly had seen Ahmet. So the mış suffix Ahmet'i okulda görmüş. That the basic structure means I didn't see it actually, but someone supposedly saw Ahmet at school. But if you say görmüştüm, it's basically I saw him. I don't know the details. I don't know what he was doing. I just saw it. So in that mış and tım, that's basically the mış evidential past and the simple past tense suffix. There's so much emotion in it, you know. But if you just say it as dün Ahmet'i okulda gördüm. Yesterday I saw Ahmet at school yesterday. There isn't any emotion. I just saw him. But if you attach the mış suffix, then you can maybe talk about so much more in the story. Okay? So it's an interesting grammar topic. If you're interested, I have a lesson on this topic on the premium lessons on one of the premium courses in the intermediate Turkish course on the Turkish Rollick website. Okay? Let's go back. 1 second. Okay. So oynayamam demiştim. I told you I couldn't play it. Üzülme kirpi kardeş. Üzülmek means to be sad. Don't be sad kirpi kardeş. Don't be sad brother porcupine. Zaten biz de bu oyundan sıkılmıştık. We too were already bored of this game. Zaten actually, it means actually we too, by the way. Sıkılmak means to be bored of something. Sıkılmıştık. Yeah, we were also bored. We were also supposedly bored. The mış suffix is really interesting. I mean, the evidential past, the subjunctive, it's also called the subjunctive suffix. It's a really interesting suffix. I advise that you learn this suffix because Turkish, especially in stories, in discussions, Turkish people like to use the mış suffix a lot. Okay, so this is your entry into intermediate Turkish. So if you can master the mış suffix, I mean, you're gonna understand so much more. You will be missing so much more if you don't try to understand how the mış suffix works in Turkish. Haydi, come on. Kovalamaca, chasing. So let's play chasing. As you can see, oynayalım. So oynasana. We saw the katılsana, baksana, and oynayalım. This is the same. It's the optative. Let's play. Yapalım, gidelim. So let's make an example sentence with that. Let me write that. Bugün bugün diskoda dans edelim. Disco, as in disco, discotheque. So come on, let's dance at the discotheque tonight. Dans edelim. So when you're asking, let's say, let's do it together, not you, not me, but us together. It's elim alım or yelim yalım with the buffer letter. Dans edelim, yapalım, gidelim, görelim. So can you try to make an example sentence with the structure? So let's say you want to, you're in a group of people and you want to say, okay, let's do this. Let's do that. Let's eat that. Let's go there. It's basically this suffix. It's this. So we add it at the end of the root. Diyelim alım. So can you make an example sentence? I want to see if you can make an example sentence. Okay, one example from Pierre Sok. I don't think I read it correctly. Sorry. By the way, hoş geldin. Haydi. So videolara. So videolara. Not the ı, but a. Bakalım. Okay, another one from Kokana. Dizi izleyelim mi? Okay, that's a nice one. This is a question. So it's not just saying, let's do it, but it's saying, shall we do it? Shall we watch a TV series, a soap opera? Dizi izleyelim mi? Okay, anything else? I want to see more. Elim mi? You can also ask a question if you want. You don't have to say, let's do this. Anything else? Any other example sentences? I know a lot of people are watching it right now, so if you can, please write in the chat box. If you like, you can also always write it in the comments. I try to check all the example sentence. I usually check all the example sentence, and I will give you lots of tips. So be sure to write your example sentence with the elim, alım, or elim mi, alım mı structure in the comments or in the chat box. Let me check it. Okay. Okay, another one. So it's not köpeği but köpeğe. Köpeğe mama verelim mi? So I would advise that you look at my lessons on case markers. because to give something, there's a movement action going on. So you have to choose that accusative suffix. So which one was that? That was the dative case. Köpeğe, to the dog. Köpeğe mama verelim mi? Shall we give food, or what was mama in English, by the way? I forgot. Formula, food, yeah. Shall we give food to the dog? Another one from Kokana. Türkçe çalışalım. Güzel. Türkçe. Let's study Turkish. Türkçe çalışalım. By the way, I said I was gonna make this lesson short, but I'm already reaching 1 hour mark. Okay, anyway, let's just do it. Mangal yapalım. Let's do barbecue. Let's do a barbecue. Mangal yapalım. Çok güzel. Teşekkür ederim Kokana. Teşekkür ederim. Pure Sok. I think Pure Sok, probably. Another one. Evet. Köpeğe mama verelim mi? So be careful with the accusative. The accusative suffix is used for the direct object. So it has many uses. I will advise that you do some revision on the topic of case markers. Okay, the case markers in Turkish are really difficult. So you have to be careful with using which one, the correct one. Also, certain verbs require the certain case marker to be attached. So these are called case marked objects. And you can, I think, check out some of the lessons on Speaking Turkish in 30 Days or my other premium grammar lessons on the website. Okay. Anyway, let's continue with our story. Haydi kovalamaca oynayalım. So kovalamaca means tag. So let's quickly move on because we don't have much time. Kirpi kardeşin de oynayabileceği bir oyun bulmamız lazım. So we need to. So mak lazım. So we need to. I have to. So this is the have to, need to structure. Mem lazım, mamız lazım, mek lazım. We have to do this. So we need to find a game that Brother Porcupine too can play. So here, actually, we have a relative clause structure. So this is a grammar that's used in intermediate Turkish. So you may not know the structure, but oynayabileceği oyun, a game that he can play. Oynayabileceğim bir oyun, a game that I can play. So I'm not going to go too much into detail. This is a really detailed grammar structure, but I'm just going to explain it. If you know, it's good. If you don't know, this is on the website, so be sure to check it out. It's for premium members, but everything here I explain it in the lesson. Okay? Oynayabileceği bir oyun. Okay, so a game he can play. We need to find something. Buldum. I found it. Elimin üstünde kimin eli var? So whose hand on top of my hand? So this is a spatial postposition structure. I have a lesson on this on the Speaking Turkish on the free lessons. You can check it. Elimin üstünde, on top of my hand. Kimin eli var? Whose hand is it? Let's play. Oynayalım. Again, optative. Let's play. Whose hand is on my hand? Pre-intermediate grammar. Yo, olmaz. No. Olmaz. I can't do it. Patilerimi seviyorum. Pati is the hand that the cats and the dogs have. You know, as you can see, he is holding his hands. So I love my pati. What is pati in Turkish? Paws. I love my paws. So because he's scared that the porcupine will, hurt his paws with his needles. Then he says, arkadaşlar siz oynayın. Again, optative. Siz yapın, oynayın. Ben oynamasam da olur. Okay, let's also use the structure. Then let's move on. Yapmasam da. Bugün televizyon izlemesem de olur. Interesting structure. So here, this means even if I don't watch TV, it's okay. Mesem de, even if I don't watch it, olur. Mesem de olur. So can you make a sentence like this? Bugün televizyon izlemesem de olur. It's okay if I don't watch TV. So mesem de olur means it's okay if I don't verb. İzlemesem de, yemek yapmasam da. So mesem masam. Can you make a sentence with this structure? If you can, I'm checking the chat box, also the comment section. Can you make a sentence with the structure? Let's see. So what can you do without basically? What's okay if you don't do it? What can you do without doing something? Can you make an example? Let's see. Bugün or yarın erken kalkmasam da olur. So erken early, kalkmak to get up. Yarın erken kalkmasam da olur. It's okay if I don't wake up early tomorrow. Actually, I still have to wake up early tomorrow because I have a lot of things to do. Can you make a sentence? Mesem de olur. Let's see. Okay, nice. Kokana. Yemek yapmasam da olur. It's okay if I don't cook. Yemek yapmasam da olur. But I will strongly disagree because food I cannot do without food. So yemek yapmasam olmaz. So if you can say I cannot do without yemek yapmasam olmaz. Okula gitmesem olmaz. But if you can say it's okay if I don't do it, yemek yapmasam da olur. You can make it like that. Anything else? Another example? Yemek yapmasam da olur. Merhaba Andreas. You're a bit late. We're almost at the end of our lesson, but you can still watch this lesson as a recorded lesson. So we have maybe like 15 minutes left. Then we're going to finish this lesson because we're already past the 1 hour mark. But it's okay. You can still watch this lesson. But be sure to, hopefully you can join the live lesson. Oraya gitmesem. So there is no consonant assimilation. It's just mesem masam added to the root. Yapmasam, gitmesem. Ne olacak ki? Oraya gitmesem. Ne olacak ki? What if I didn't go there? It's a nice one. Nice sentence. I like it. Good job. Oraya gitmesem. Ne olacak ki? Or ne olacak ki? We generally merge ne olacak with ne olacak. Ne olacak ki? What if I don't go there? Ne olacak? Another? Yeah, it's okay. I think I remember that you also missed the last lesson, Andreas, but not much you can do about it. Maybe I'll try to start the lesson a bit later, but I usually get really tired, so I have to make it at this hour. Kokana partiye gitmesem de olur. It's okay if I don't go to the party. Partiye gitmesem de olur. Really nice sentences, everyone. Thank you for writing your sentence. I really like seeing these example sentences. Partiye gitmesem de olur. Okay, if you have more, be sure to write it in the comments, in the chat box. Okay, or in the comments if you're watching not as a live lesson, but a recorded lesson. Okay, let's continue. So let's finish our lesson, finish the story because it's taking too much time. Oynamazsam da olur. It's okay if I don't play it. Hayır kirpi kardeş, herkesin başarabileceği bir şey var. No brother porcupine, everyone has something that they can achieve. Başarmak means to achieve. Again, there is a relative clause structure. Bir şey var. Bir şey is something. Vardır. So this is the dır statement suffix. Vardır. So it's a when you want to talk about truths, general facts, yaptır, vardır, öğretmendir. So it's a fact. Okay? Okay. So benim aklıma bir oyun geldi. Akıl means my mind. So something came to my mind. So I got an idea. A game. So then they say bunu ne yapacağız? So what are we gonna do with this? And he says, of course, we're gonna play körebe. So körebe in English, I forgot what it was. It's blind man's buff or hoodman's bluff, blind man's buff. So you close your eyes and you try to find something or find someone. Körebe is that game, blind man's buff. So we're gonna play körebe. We're gonna play blind man's buff. And what happens? Of course, the paws of the tiger, not the tiger, the cat, I don't know what kind of cat he is hurt. Eyvah, oh no. Hoş geldin Muhammed. It's okay. I mean, at least you attended the lesson. Thank you for giving me your precious time. And amanın, amanın is, oh my God. Oh my God. Oh no. Amanın. My beautiful paws. My beautiful paws. I'm so sorry. Çok özür dilerim. Önemli değil. It's okay. Don't worry. Önemli değil. Önemli değil. Kirpi kardeş. It's okay, brother porcupine. So, galiba ben hiç oyun oynayamayacağım. I think. So galiba. Let's also make some sentence with that structure. Okay. Let's make galiba akşam yemek yemeyeceğim. So let's make a sentence with this. Galiba means I think, I guess, I'm not gonna do something, or I guess I'm gonna do something, or I guess something happened. So galiba means I think, I guess. Galiba akşam yemek yemeyeceğim. I'm guessing I'm not gonna eat food. I'm not gonna eat dinner tonight. Why? Because I already ate something around an hour ago, so I'm already full. So can you make a sentence with galiba? You can make it any kind of sentence. For example, if the doorbell rang, ding ding, galiba Ahmet geldi. Galiba annem geldi. So I guess Ahmet came. I guess my mother came. Galiba posta geldi. I think the postal guy or the I don't know, the guy who's bringing me food from my delivery app. So I asked for a hamburger. I think that guy brought my hamburger. Galiba hamburgerim geldi. Okay, I got an example sentence. Galiba Türkçe öğrendim artık. Yeah, I think I learned Turkish more artık from now on, right now. So I think I learned Turkish. Galiba. I think so. Galiba. Bilmiyorum. Okay, Taşkın, let's see your sentence. Galiba futbol maçı izlemeyeceğim or izlemeyeceğim. I think I'm not gonna watch the football match or futbol maçını izlemeyeceğim. So I don't know. I'm not following any of the matches. So I don't know who's playing who right now. So I'm not really that much of a fan. If it's something important, sorry guys. Hopefully it's not at this hour. Galiba futbol maçı izlemeyeceğim. Galiba bu dersten sonra uyumayacağım. I guess I'm not gonna sleep after this lesson. If you have more sentences, you can share them with me. So story, hikaye. Hikaye. Galiba bu hikaye çok zor. Evet, birazcık zor. I mean, it is a bit difficult at certain points because there's a lot of different grammar. This is not a story specifically made for Turkish learners. So it's a story made for second graders, third graders in Turkey, native speakers, but practice is practice, right? Galiba bu hikaye çok zor. I mean, it's okay. Even if you don't understand it, I'm gonna share the Google Docs link. So if you want to check out the story later, download the images if you like. You can also check them out. Oo, galiba aşık oldum. Kime aşık oldun Kokana? Galiba aşık oldun. Oo, ilginç. So maybe you fell in love with someone when you were watching a TV series. I know that a lot of my students who watch TV series fall in love with the leading actor. Galiba, I don't know. I fell in love with him or her. Okay, another one. Teşekkür ederim. Galiba bugün çok şanslıyım çünkü sizinle tanıştım. Galiba bugün çok şanslıyım çünkü sizinle tanıştım. I guess I'm really lucky today because I met you. Teşekkür ederim. Çok teşekkürler. Türkçe'ye mi aşık oldun? Güzel. I mean, it's a nice thing to pair along with, I guess. Okay, let's finish up our story. So I'm not gonna stop. I'm just gonna slowly translate because we already make this a really long lesson. So let's finish it. Hemen de üzülmeyin. Don't just get sad. Hemen de. Hemen means right now. Don't just get sad. Beni takip edin. So takip et means follow. So a lot of the YouTubers say beni takip edin, follow me. So I mean follow my channel. Kanalımı takip edin. Beni takip edin. Nereye gidiyoruz? Where are we going? I don't know. Bilmiyorum ama kara kulak gözlüğünü taktıysa, so this is the if clause. Kara kulak is the cat. Gözlük is like this one. If kara kulak wore his glasses, taktıysa aklında, in his mind, güzel bir fikir vardır. So in his mind there's a good idea. I'm guessing there's a good idea. Okay? So I also have a lesson on if conditionals. I think not in the free course, but again in the intermediate Turkish course. So most of the grammar that you see here, I already explained in my intermediate Turkish course. So if you're interested, please check it out. Just a second. Whoop. Taktıysa, yaptıysa. So if he did that, if he wore the glasses, I'm guessing he has a really nice idea. Okay? And güzel fikri suyla oynamak mıymış? So his bright idea was playing with the water. Oh my God. Was his bright idea playing with the water? Bir şey mi oldu? Did something happen? Haydi bakalım. Come on. En çok balonu patlatan oyunu kazanır. The one who pops the most balloons wins the game. Yay! Hooray! Sonunda benim de oynayabileceğim bir oyun var. At last. Sonunda means at last. I have a game that I can play too. Hem de dikenlerin sayesinde bu oyunun kazananı sen olacaksın galiba. And thanks to your needles, I think, galiba, I think you will be the winner of this game. And finally, Tomurcuk, Karakulak, çok teşekkür ederim. Thank you Tomurcuk, thank you Karakulak. İyi ki sizin gibi arkadaşlarım var. I'm glad I have friends like you. İyi ki. I'm glad. ... Hooray. And we have finished today's story. I hope you liked it. It was a really long lesson for me. I usually don't like to make it too long because I get tired really easily. But I hope you liked this lesson. I hope you found it both entertaining and educational. It was a nice lesson for me. And thank you again for everyone who joined the lesson. Yeah, we have a lot of connection problems today. Sometimes I'm looking at my screen and I just freeze for some reason. I don't know. I never had this before in my live streams, maybe because of today's connection. But anyway, thank you again for all of you for joining this lesson. Even if you didn't write anything, it's okay. You can always write it in the comments. You can watch it later on. And thank you especially to those that wrote their example sentences. Before we finish, I want to make a small announcement again. I don't know if you watched my video where I talk about a special offer. So this November, I'm going to be starting the version 4 of Turkishaholic. So the whole Turkishaholic website is going to change. I'm gonna make a new website. I'm currently making a new course. And if you are a premium member, especially unlimited member, you're gonna get a really big update for a really cheap price. So I have a lot of stuff on the website, okay? So I would advise that you check out this video. I explain it in more detail. And that's all. So thank you again for joining this lesson. And I hope to see you again next week. Bye bye everyone. Güle güle. Görüşürüz.